president's personal and offensive tweet about another news anchor is the latest hit in Mr. Trump's battle against the media. His spokespeople are telling reporters to focus on policy. The question is, how? When the president keeps doing things like this, it makes you wonder if it is intentional. Let's discuss with CNN political commentator and legendary journalist, Mr. Carl Bernstein. Carl, good to have you on the show as always.
Good to be with you.
How do you see this a tactic by the president?
I think something much greater is happening, and that is that we are in the midst of a malignant presidency. And that malignancy is known to the military leaders of the country, it's known to the Republican leadership in Congress who recognize it, and it's known to the intelligence community. And the presidency of Donald Trump is not functioning. It's not functioning partly because of his character. It's not functioning partly because of his attacks on the press, which is totally moving the needle that the American people are watching to a sideshow. But it's really not functioning because the character and capabilities of this president are called into grave question in a way that those who know him best are raising serious concerns about. And this is the greatest journalistic challenge of the modern era, to report on a malignant presidency and what it means and where it's going.
I mean, Carl, some people have said that this is an issue of impulse control, that the president is not able to control his impulses, to attack back, to fight fire with fire. Other people are saying, hold on, this is a genius obfuscation tactic. Divert attention from healthcare bill, which has been in trouble. What's your take?
That both could be true, but I keep going back to the greater problem of this president is not in control of the presidency in a way that it is functioning. And that has got our leaders worried. They are worried about his character. They are worried about his capabilities. They are worried about his temperament and state of his temperament, to use kind words here. We're in foreign territory. We have never been in a malignant presidency like this before. It calls on our leaders, it calls on our journalists to do a different kind of reporting, a different kind of dealing with this presidency and the President of the United States. We have to, in the press, be kind of medical reporters right now. I don't mean about the president's psyche, but rather about every aspect of his presidency and how and whether it is functioning, because many aspects are not functioning.
But question the premise.
So we need to shift.
Other than the fact that he hasn't filled a lot of vacancies yet, and at this point in the presidency, it's somewhat odd that the administration is as underserved as it is in terms of appointments, they'll say, his defenders, what are you talking about, Carl? Look at all the executive orders. Look at the regulations that have been cut. Look at the economic stimulation that we've seen. Look at how they got back warm beer from North Korea. Look at how our presence on the international stage has changed. This president has done a lot, and he's done a lot in terms of the perception of this country as well as the policy.
He's done a lot in terms of the perception of his base, but not in terms of the larger population of this country, and not in terms of what Republicans in the House and Senate are now saying to each other, and especially in light of this latest tweet, which confirms for so many of them what they've been worried about all along, and that is whether or not this President of the United States is capable of being president. They have many of the Republicans in Congress, and our reporters need to go out and talk to them, either off the record, on background, on the record, about the question of their confidence in this president and whether or not he is capable of being the President of the United States in a way that defends us, our country, and the Constitution of the United States. Many members of Congress, many of our military leaders, many in our intelligence community who I've spoken to, and I know other reporters have spoken to, understand and beginning to comprehend that the underlying story here is a lack of confidence in the abilities and character of the President of the United States of America.
All right, Carl Bernstein, thank you for giving us the bottom line.